Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Pakistan earlier. However, his spokesperson has written just a short time ago, quote, "No meeting is planned to take place between Iran and the U.S. Iran's observations would be conveyed to Pakistan." Something of a contradiction there.
Certainly know that Witkoff and Kushner are on their way right now to Pakistan, so it seems as though there are talks. Now, it is going to be more of a working level instead of a principal level, because it's not just that Vice President J.D. Vance isn't going to be there, but the Speaker of the Parliament is also not going to be there from Iran, and he's been largely seen as the person who has the most authority to actually negotiate a deal. Now, President Trump said that Iran contacted them, that they wanted to talk, and he told Reuters in an interview that they were going to come back with an offer or a deal to try and meet some of the U.S. demands, but said that he had no idea what that deal was going to look like.
The president was flexible in granting an extension of the ceasefire throughout this time. The president has decided to dispatch Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner back to Islamabad. The Iranians want to talk. They want to talk in person, and so the president is, as I've said many times to all of you, always willing to give diplomacy a chance. So Steve and Jared will be heading to Pakistan tomorrow to hear the Iranians out. We hope progress will be made, and we hope that positive developments will come from this meeting. We've certainly seen some progress from the Iranian side in the last couple of days.
Sources tell CNN that the Vice President J.D. Vance is not planning to attend the meeting, since the man seen as his counterpart, Iran's parliamentary speaker, is not participating either.
The bigger build-up in the region, close to the Strait of Hormuz, that third aircraft carrier coming in, a more modern aircraft carrier than the others that are in position. It can carry the very sophisticated F-35, so that brings additional high capability fighter jets into the region, gives the president the option of those of increasing the strikes against Iran, perhaps against those small fast boats that he said is going to go after, that are dropping mines, that are pirating, as Pete Hegseth called it today, on the container ships that are passing through the Strait of Hormuz. The A-10 Warthogs with their Gatling guns that can fly low and slow and go after those fast, small Iranian boats on the water. Perhaps they're already in the region. They're there, but it's that additional firepower that the new aircraft carrier brings that amps up, if you will, the threat that the Iranians face. And they keep saying that they don't want to negotiate under threat. They keep saying the Strait of Hormuz, that must be unblockaded by the US for them to move forward in talks. Yet here they are, perhaps moving off somewhere else before coming back to meet with the president's envoys. But diplomacy was stalemated, it seemed, for a couple of days. Now it's moving. Quite where it goes, we don't know.
It's a bold and dangerous mission, a gift to the world, historic, courtesy of a bold and historic president. That mission continues today, in this new phase, as Iran has an important choice, a chance to make a deal, a good deal, a wise deal. As part of that effort, the United States has imposed an ironclad blockade that grows more powerful by the day. From the Gulf of Oman to the open oceans, our Navy is enforcing this blockade without hesitation or apology. Now, as usual, there's a lot of false information out there. I'll say this, every ship that the U.S. believes meets our criteria, either Iranian ships or to and from Iranian ports, has been turned around. As of this morning, 34 total. Non-Iranian vessels are allowed to transit, and many have, including overnight. Not only is the blockade growing, in fact, a second aircraft carrier will join the blockade in just a few days, but this growing blockade is also gone global. Just this week, we seized 2 Iranian dark fleet ships in the Indo-Pacific region that had left Iranian ports before the blockade went into effect. They thought they'd made it out just in time. They did not. We are not counting on Europe, but they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and get in a boat. This is much more their fight than ours. I know there's a lot of talks You saw I would call it a silly conference in Europe last week where they got together and talking about maybe doing something eventually when things are done. Those are not serious efforts yet. We would welcome that. We would welcome a serious European effort to do something about this strait and this passage, considering it's their energy capabilities that are most at stake. I think it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for countries around the world. Either you have capabilities or you don't. Otherwise, you're at the behest of a country like Iran, and the only country that can do something about it is the United States military. President Trump said it again yesterday. We have all the time in the world, and we're not anxious for a deal. And I hear him say it every day in private as well. Iran knows that they still have an open window to choose wisely. As we said previously, choose wisely at the negotiating table. All they have to do is abandon a nuclear weapon in meaningful and verifiable ways, or instead they can watch their regime's fragile economic state collapse under the unrelenting pressure of American power. A blockade as long as it takes, whatever President Trump decides. Because the bottom line remains the bottom line. Iran will never get a nuclear bomb. The choice is theirs, but with this blockade, the clock is not on their side. Moreover, President Trump has authorized the United States Navy to destroy any Iranian fast boats that attempt to put mines in the water or disrupt passage through the Strait of Hormuz, to shoot and kill. Our commanders have clear rules of engagement. If Iran is putting mines in the water or otherwise threatening American commercial shipping or American forces, we will shoot to destroy. No hesitation, just like the drug boats in the Caribbean. It's also worth saying, this should not be America's fight alone. We barely use the Strait of Hormuz as a country. Our energy doesn't flow through there, and we have plenty of energy.
播报新闻是我的日常，必须时刻保持妆容和皮肤的最佳状态。当来到人生中最重要的时刻，也是 KS 逆时奇迹帮助我轻松驾驭，闪闪发光。KS 逆时奇迹活肤露全效精华、精华霜，多达5种 EGF 6大冻龄关键成分，保湿效果让我非常满意，小细纹也不再困扰我。我就是我自己的最佳女主角 ，KS 让我从容自信、光彩动人。我是我人生中的大女主，我的最爱我做主。KS 逆时奇迹系列热卖中，下单请上快点购。透过中天新闻网 App 下单立减50，或输入 CTI 推荐码有额外折扣。